Hi everyone, this is just a quick tutorial just to show you how I've worked a garter tab into the waistcoat version of my folklore design. So here you can see this is the waistband and this is the front side seam of the waistcoat. Now, what I found is when I blocked this garment originally, all of the edges were sitting flat really nicely, and I was very happy with it. Then what I found was that as I was wearing it more and more, for me, this kind of bottom edge of the front side piece was starting to kind of curl outwards as I was wearing it and starting to show the wrong side a little bit more. Now, if that's something that doesn't bother you, then you really don't need to do this. But for me personally, it's not what I wanted. It was annoying me. And so I came up with the solution of creating this, what I've called a garter tab. Now it's completely invisible on the right side, as you can see. But what it does is essentially kind of support the back of your colourwork border and just help to hold it in that front facing position, stops it from doing this kind of curling over thing. Now unfortunately I've worked this in black yarn, which makes it quite difficult to see, but essentially I will show you a little bit of what I've done here, and I'm also just going to demonstrate on one of my other samples just where it's a bit easier to see. Essentially what I've done here is I picked up as many stitches as I felt I needed. I've actually picked up 30 here. This was the section from here to here. This was the section that was curling. So I've picked up stitches along here. I've worked in garter stitch until the piece is just shorter than the picked up edge where you pick up to start this colourwork border. So just before you reach that point, and then you pick up along that border, knit two together to bind off this tab. So what you end up with is a piece of fabric that's attached to each end, not through the middle, and it just creates this support structure on the wrong side. It stops that kind of curling outwards from happening. So just to quickly show you, here's one of my other samples, which I haven't needed to add a garter tab to because it's got this I-cord tie, but I will just show you anyway. So you've got this lovely kind of like column of knit stitches, which is your bound off edge. You don't want to be picking up into that because the whole point is we want this to be invisible on the right side. So when you're picking up into the purl row before your bind off row. So here's my bound off edge. So if I was picking up and knitting, I'd be looking to pick up into these purl bumps here. So I'd be picking up, I've suggested in the pattern around about 30, but it depends on how much, whether you've got any curling and how much curling there is. Just pick up in the area that is curling. So you'd pick up into those purl bumps, not into the bound off edge. Then, as I said, work in garter stitch until your piece is measuring pretty much to the end of that colourwork border. And then you'll be using this picked up edge of stitches with the left needle. You'd be picking up one of these and knitting it together with the live stitch on your needle until you've bound off all your stitches. Okay, so that is how you would work the garter tab that helps to stop the kind of open front waistcoat or vest from curling. All right, I hope that helps.